Okay, up next, my review on Kerblam. Hello out there, I'm the oldest nerd. Kerblam this week, the second episode that was written by someone other than Chris Chibnall, this one by Peter McTighe, who did a wonderful job building a puzzle. Now, this is one of the things that I've said before that I would like to see, and one of the things that I liked about Moffat's writing was that he put together a puzzle. It was kind of fun to be able to try and put all the pieces together. Instead of doing it timey-wimey, though, they did it in a way to where they made you anticipate what they were going to do and then twisted it. At the very beginning, it looks like they're going to do a job on Amazon. And they lead you on to that for quite a while. And when you go there, there are a number of robots that are the co-workers and overseers and monitors, and you think, okay, it's going to be another evil robot story, very much like Capaldi's Clockwork Robots that were in the first series of his time of being the Doctor. So these expectations were there, and then they take you through which you're thinking that, okay, it's bad robots, it's bad people that are programming the robots, it's some confusion as to why certain things are kept on paper and used with clipboards rather than the high technology that's otherwise all through the company. And you're led down the path that their manager, Slade, is the bad guy, and then maybe the personnel manager, the people manager, the person that refers to people as organics, might be the problem. And then the mystery about what's underneath. And when it all comes out, it turns out that it's a union organizer who is trying to create a bad reputation for the company by sabotaging it with exploding bubble wrap. Now, I have to say that that's very clever. I don't think that anybody has ever thought of weaponizing bubble wrap before, but it's clever, and the twists and turns that make you think that they're going to make some kind of social statement about why big corporations are bad, or why automation is bad, or why computer control is bad, or why bad managers are bad. All of these things are teased and dangled before you, and none of that's the problem. It has to be a union organizer. This is interesting, and an odd direction that the show would go, considering their other perceived political leanings. So, rather interesting in the way they handled this. A couple of little things that I liked in this, of course, were the use of psychic paper. Once again, the Doctor is able to scam her way into this by not only using psychic paper, but using it as kind of diversion so she can sonic screwdriver their electronics to make them look like they're supposed to be there. The use of the Fez, harkening back to Matt Smith. Obviously, the delivery that came on the TARDIS of the Fez was something Matt Smith presumably had ordered. And so a nice little tribute to him, and she doesn't look half bad in a Fez. A couple of good lines where the Doctor talks to Slade and says the best managers care about their employees. Once again, leading you down that path that maybe the manager is the bad guy. Dan, the worker alongside of Yaz, who gives his life to protect Yaz, even though he's only met her that day. All of these things kind of lead to this twist. And so the ending is not anything that we would have suspected. And by the end of it, I almost thought it was going to be something about like android liberation. Now, that's a phrase that came about from a radio series that I'm familiar with. They're still producing things online at ZBS Foundation. ZBS.org is their website, and I'm not getting any money for this. This is just, I happen to know the person that runs the place, and they do some rather interesting science fiction of their own. And they have a series called Ruby, in which they talk about technology and people, and it kind of parallels along with this kind of story where everything is automated, but in the end, it's always the people that are the problem. But anyway, I found it an enjoyable episode this time around. I thought that it gave pretty much everybody something to do. The relationships are pretty solidified now. We have Yaz and Ryan working very well together. You have Graham being a good resource for whatever they need to get done. And it turns out that he's the one basically that discovered most of what they needed to know in order to get to the end of the series. The Doctor, once again, is a little more in the background, a little kind of the person that's making all the accusations, but she's almost like Inspector Lestrade, who doesn't ever quite get on the right path until someone else kind of enlightens. And so that's kind of interesting there. But anyway, overall, a enjoyable program. I'd like to know what you think about it in the comments. Please leave those. And of course, once again, if you will subscribe, if you've not done so, that would be a great thing. We're trying to make it to 1,000 subscribers by the end of the calendar year. If you can help us in that way, it would be greatly appreciated. Of course, I always read all of your comments and respond to as many of them as I can. So thank you very much. So until next time, don't go far.